All right, welcome to the tropics. Jake Royall coming at you from beautiful Santa Barbara, California. Clock here, my time. Markets are about to close. I never trade past 15 my time. Wake up at 5:45, start trading at 6:30, and sometimes I trade the afternoon, but the idea is to only trade the morning session. That's the idea. Today we're going to look at some charts. We're going to see how this wonderful software called TachEon TimeWarp does on the NASDAQ micro and maybe mini, and maybe we'll look at some other instruments. I primarily trade the NASDAQ, so that's what we're going to look at. I hope everybody likes the color of my candles today. Oh, I guess I can get rid of this. So I had a poll going. 56% of you already own the software, love it, and are here to learn some more. And 44% of you folks are here to learn how this might help me become a better trader. So that's a good mix. That's awesome, actually. Excuse me, I'm gonna mute myself for a second. Nobody needed to hear me clear my throat, so feeling a little better than, well, definitely a lot better than last week. Okay, so let's see, no picture. Oh, thank you. Let's close the poll, maybe that's why. How about now? Ah, it's only the second time. It's only the second time I've used that poll function. So, okay, thank you. Appreciate that, Stanley. Thank you. Welcome, by the way, Stan. Good to see you. So yeah, this is what we're doing. We're doing a little review, and I'll teach some stuff, my personal trading style on the NASDAQ 3-minute. And yeah, we're gonna, oh, that's what I wanna ask. How many of you folks, can you just raise your hand if you can do that, or just put a, I don't know, an O for I own the software already, and an N for I don't own the software? Is that too much to ask? O for own and no for don't own. Someone just want to see who I'm talking to. Oh, nice. People are actually responding. That's a miracle. It's a miracle. You people are real. I knew it. That's why I keep coming back to do this. So yeah, Michael and Ron are on a motorcycle trip across the great United States of America and are currently off the grid, camping most of the time. They're on those half dirt bike, half street bike motorcycles with like the side container things, and are on dirt trails and camping in the wilderness, and they got a whole month to do that. So more power to them. And yeah, I'll have this webinar to do, and I think one more, and we'll see after that. We'll see after that. I'm sure Michael's going to want to come back and do one of these because I know he has a good time doing it, but maybe not. Maybe not. I don't know what's going to happen. We'll settle on in. We'll be here for an hour and a half or so. Okay, so let me see what you folks did up there for the no and the yes. Okay, so one. So Rajesh, good to know. Thank you. Carl, awesome. Okay, so 2 of you folks so far. Okay, excellent. And yeah, we'll just go over what the software is. I'm not sure if you've seen one of these webinars or not. There's also a bunch of people who haven't answered. And just so everybody knows, this will be uploaded to YouTube and recorded it should be up later tonight, but definitely by tomorrow it will be up in case you want to watch the recording. So TachEon TimeWarp is the flagship software of this wonderful company, Back to the Future Trading. I am not a sales guy. I am a customer, and I am the house pro trader mentor. You can book one-on-one sessions with me if you'd like to learn the strategies that I use, if you want to get to know the software more inside and out, different techniques, all sorts of stuff. You can sign up. Send me an email at jacob@backtothefuturetrading.com, and I'll give you more information on how to book a one-on-one with me. Stock settings, I don't know if I can handle it, Ramesh. I don't know if I can handle it. I'm going to do the NASDAQ. Maybe I'll be able to handle some stock settings. I don't trade stocks. If you want to book a one-on-one with me, though, we can definitely go over and tune some charts for whatever stock you want. You'd have to let me know exactly what stock, what time frame. I mean, I don't even know how much a tick is worth on Google. I have no idea. I trade futures and only futures. So I would hate to throw something up on this webinar that's going to be recorded for all time on an instrument I don't know anything about. But you know, one-on-one, we can look at the chart and we can start to tune warp as we need to get some good signals out of it. But I don't have any stock settings for stocks other than just what the regular settings are for warp. But I can try, maybe. Okay, so let's see. Let's go through some slides. There's me. There's my dog. There's a picture and a picture. Today we're going to talk about tools. So I'm not sure if any of you folks have bought trading software before, but this is software that it's on a professional level. This is no children's hammer. We can use this thing as a sledgehammer. We can use it as a roofing hammer, but I'm a professional trader. I'm not gonna show up to a job site with a tiny little kid's hammer. That's just not the way I prefer to go about running any business or showing up to anything. I want the best tool for the job. And I've looked at tons and tons of software, and as far as what I've seen, Warp is the best that we can get. So when I say we, I am affiliated with Back to the Future. Obviously, I'm the lead trainer kind of guy. So we're the only company online that gives the times and directions in advance. What? Gives you the trading rules in advance, lets the time and setups pass, and then 2 days later, we add up the results for a pass or fail. So we're gonna be looking at the NASDAQ a little bit later. My big thesis is that although the world looks messy and chaotic, if you translate it into the world of numbers and shapes, patterns emerge and you start to understand why things are the way that they are. Now I'll put my glasses on here. It's like a 2-day headache. Probably because it's too many charts, too many. I'm gonna take a deep breath and try to compose my brain ball here. Hold on a second. Why don't everybody take a deep breath with me for a second? Sometimes it gets a little repetitive going through these slides, but it's part of my job. I really just want to go start looking at charts, but I'm gonna go through these slides. I can do it. I can do it. What I really want to say, let's see if I can get more up. Let's see if I can get real. Okay. For the longest time, I thought I could use free indicators and free YouTube videos to be successful in trading. And after years of thinking that, I realized that I needed professional grade software. So once I realized that, and I had started working with a friend of mine, the smartest friend of mine, probably *2 that I've ever had. He's still a really good friend of mine, but this is one of those guys where he's too smart for his own good. Not only was he too smart for his own good, he's also tall and good looking and funny. It's like, well, I don't even like you. You're too much of everything good. It's not fair. So anyway, he was working with me on this trading thing before I bought Warp, and the way that his mind worked in compared to mine's more of an artistic, creative brain, and if you will, I'm kind of geared that way. And this guy, Jeff, I mean, this equation back here on the board, I have no idea, but Jeff could figure that out. I mean, that's the kind of guy that I'm talking about. And as we started working together trading, I realized that my strategies weren't as quantitative as I thought they were. I realized that after the questions that he would ask me, I realized that I had no idea what the hell I was doing. This is after trading for almost 3.5 years. So I started searching around and just cruising on YouTube and trying to see if I can answer Jeff's questions, and he would find all these holes in my strategies. Like, well, what about if this happens? What about if that happens? And anyway, I was on YouTube and trying to get my stuff together, and I came across Back to the Future Trading, and I came across TimeWarp and the system, and I realized that's what I needed to be able to at least be quantitative enough and patient enough to wait for trades, to almost like to continue working with Jeff. I didn't see any other way to do it, and yeah, I spent some good money on the software, but it changed my life. It changed the way I looked at trading. It changed the way I was able to articulate my thoughts around trading ideas. Before that, free indicators, lagging things, stochastic, MACD, patterns, flags, head and shoulders, you know, all the stuff that the normies trade. This software ain't for normies. All of us who have bought the software, we're not normal. Most people will look at this software and say, oh, that's too much money, it must be BS. Yeah, I don't know about these guys, just a bunch of charlatans. Well, then good luck. Good luck with something else. I'm sure other things work, but for me, they don't. I need the assistance and the patience that software like this lends. It's 12,000 lines of code. I can't comprehend what that even means, let alone try to go back in time and try to figure out where these swing points are that we're going to be looking at here in a bit. So anyway, that's just, I'm just trying to get loose, It's quite the thing doing webinars like this. I actually learned a lot about myself. So I do agree with this statement from Marcus here. So yeah, this is basically what we as traders look at every day. And I can find all sorts of patterns in there. I can find a couple double bottoms, multiple double bottoms, double tops, triple tops, head and shoulders all over the place. Impulse moves, flags, wedges, upside down, crescent move, turnaround, hula hoop, spinning dancers. I mean, every single pattern you can think of. Consolidation, Elliott waves, XABCD patterns, butterfly, Gatling gun. There's just too many choices, too many daggone choices in a chart. I wanted something simplified and quantitative that had a backbone to it in its back testing and a rigorous history of being a successful software. And I purchased Warp almost just to shut Jeff up. It's like, dude, I don't know. I'm just gonna buy this software and I think it's gonna help us. Okay. And he was like, don't buy it. And I was like, I don't really think I have a choice. Working with you, if I don't buy the software, I'm gonna go crazy. I need this. And I've never looked back. It was money well spent. Money well spent. Yeah, my friend was playing 3D chess while I'm playing checkers. But the thing is, he didn't know squat about trading. Like, he didn't even know what a pennant was. He didn't even know, like, he's never heard the term double top or double bottom. So I got to try to teach this extremely intelligent, genius level, probably like a 180 IQ guy trading from the ground up. And I realized how much I didn't know. It was a fantastic experience. I didn't even know that I needed a software like Warp. So if you can't spend money, here's another way I look at it. If you can't spend a chunk of change on software like Back to the Future sells, then like, what are you doing trading? What are you doing? If you're not going to invest money in the tools for the trade and the business and just think that you're going to be able to use free stuff and figure it out all on your own, good luck. Give me the best tool for the job that I can find. So what this software does is it goes back in time. You can tell it to look back 7 days, 3 days, 21 days, however many days, plus you can layer those look back periods on top of each other. So you can have the software look for 7, for 14, for 21, for 28 days back in time and it looks for these swing points in the past, and then the algorithm, the 12,000 lines of code, extrapolates the significant ones, however it determines that, and that's proprietary. I don't know. Michael and Ron know, and that's just how it's going to be. There is a black box with this software, and if you're not okay with that, you might as well just log off the webinar now, because Michael and Ron ain't going to tell anybody, no time, never, how this software works, because it does work. I mean, it's their livelihood. It's their patented stuff, you know. All I can tell you is it works. So it goes back in time and it looks for swing points using the code. And then once it finds enough of those, it extrapolates that time out into the future as a probability of a swing in a particular direction. Pretty straightforward, really. It goes and looks for these stars and projects those stars out into the future. All right, I think I'm getting warmed up now. So in my experience with this 36 interviews conducted for this book and its predecessor, leave me with little doubt that the random walk theory is wrong. That's another thing. If anybody's on this webinar right now that thinks that the markets are random, then you might as well log off. You might as well stop watching this YouTube video, because we here at Bats of Future and all of us who have bought this software, I mean, I will speak for us if I can. I don't think we think that the markets are random. I mean, just read this book. Read this book of the experience of the traders in this book. There's a multitude of traders. I don't even know how many. I think there's 10 or 12 in this one. Extremely successful ones too. Then there's another one of these books. I think there's 3 of these. There's Market Wizards, I think 1 and 2, and then there's this one. I think he's working on another one, actually. All the different vendors say theirs is the best. Yeah, they do. Does any other vendor put the signals out in the future? And does any other vendor do this? Send out the times in advance to 3,000 or 4,000 people, the times of these swings in advance, so that they can't be changed. So every Wednesday and Thursday, well, every Tuesday, Michael's system sends out the forecasted swing points for all day Wednesday and all day Thursday on all of these markets. So you get an email with all of these times for the ES, crude, a few different time frames, FDAX, Dow, NASDAQ, Euro USD, 5 minutes, a few different time frames, and all of these times for Thursday. ES5, same thing. No other company that I know of does that. So what this does is it makes it impossible to curve fit and to cheat the system, I guess. So yeah, it does sound too good to be true. It totally does. Well, it's not as simple as, here's the thing. It's not as simple as just looking at this and going, okay, so blue times mean price goes down, white times means price goes up. Down, white, up, 910, down, 955, up, 1020, down, up, down, up. It's not that simple. It can be that simple. I don't trade like that. These are signals. These are windows in time. So you have a window in time from 7:05 to 7:55 where there's enough historical significance in the data set, literally using Ninjatrader's historical data. I mean, it's such a robust platform and the data feeds are really, really accurate as far as trading platforms go. So this software looks back in the data. It actually does it. It doesn't just throw numbers out there in the future. Looks back in the data and finds a point in time from 705, and then projects it out in the future from 705 to 755, where there is historical significance of the price moving down. Well, what happens if the price already moves down? It's like, what happens if the price goes up at 445, up, and then some institution just decides to sell all and take profits or something, and the price actually moves down before the 705 signal? What do we do then? What do we do if the market's ranging or trending? Well, there's answers for that, but you need the software. I totally understand that it sounds like it's too good to be true. I mean, I thought the same thing, but it's not as simple as just looking at these times and pushing buy and sell. So maybe that helps. There's more to it. And the system that I'm going to show later in the webinar, really, I think I've taught it to multiple people now on private one-on-ones, and I've yet to get bad feedback from it. In fact, I have a bunch of emails and messages that I've got from some people that I've screenshotted that, yeah, I mean, they took the strategy home with them, and it's working great. So the thing is, what happens when most traders get this software, well, I'll just speak for myself. When I got this software, I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to do it how Michael does in the webinar and trade up and down and up and down, and with the stop punctures and the EMA punctures. And well, I realized that psychologically I couldn't handle that. I'm not a robot. So I had to come up with my own method of trading these windows of opportunity. And a lot of traders will do that. Like if you really like stochastics when the market's ranging, well, then maybe you look for from 705 to 755, maybe you look for a stochastic crossover to the downside and you take that trade. So there's a lot of ways that this software can be utilized. So anyway, I want to say that I just diverted. I digressed, but I don't think I actually did. I think it's nice to hear different perspectives on, I don't know, it was nice to see these signals on the webinar, I think. So they're out there, they're in lots of your inboxes. They should be, maybe they're in spam or something, but multiple thousands of people got these times. Audience view 100%, wow. PC to handle the data, yeah, good question. When I first got the software, I just had a fairly nice laptop and it was fine. It doesn't need to be, you can email Dave. Dave, you want to throw your info in the chat? Dave is, he's our point person for sales and salesy questions, and then he can talk to Rachel. She's our general manager at the company, and she's in charge of all the tech and whatnot. But I'm not a sales guy. Talk to Dave, and then Dave can talk to Rachel. And I think somewhere we have a system requirements page. I don't know what it is, but it's nothing crazy. I wouldn't try to do it on my daughter's Chromebook. That's not going to happen. But if it's a laptop that's like, I don't know. It's nothing out of control. Not too bad. Oh, you can't see the blue cell bars? Yeah, that's. I wish Michael's blues were a little bit brighter. Anyway, we're gonna go through some charts, and I can't make these brighter here. Okay, moving on. So is trading a guess about the past or the future? Well, it's not a guess about the past because we can go see the past. It's a guess about the future. And I don't know, that's what Warp does. It helps us approximate the probability of the future. Also lends itself to a lot of patience. Like, oh, I can't sell until 9:55. I can't buy until 10:21. I'm not allowed. I can go take a nap until 10. Well, I guess I could meditate from all the way till 10:21 because I don't have a signal until then. You can go make breakfast. That's one of the things that I really, really enjoyed about the software when I first got it, and actually it was a selling point for me. It's like this thing is, it's not just software; it's a trading system, and you also have access to real human beings like myself that aren't just going to ghost you. There's only 4 of us here. I mean, it's myself, Jake, Dave. Well, I guess, well, it depends on how you look at it. So myself, Dave, Rachel, Michael, and Ron. There's 5 of us total. It's not a giant company. It's like it's a family business, really. So yeah, Tuesday the emails get sent out. Wednesday and Thursday we can check those signals together, or I mean, you can check them yourself. That's the whole idea. It's like check them yourself. I'll go over what strategy I would use to check the signals, and I'll show what Michael, the dot to dot, the simplest one, and then I'll show the strategy that I would use to go check the signals. But we'll check some together on Thursday, which is today. So like I was saying earlier, there's the signal itself, the blue or the white dots, and then there's the setup. So those are the specific trade rules, and we'll go over those in a second because I'm about to start pulling up some charts. This equity curve here on the left is my equity curve for one of the 4 Apex accounts that I qualified for, the prop trading firm, the Apex. These are in ticks. This is, I think, the first account that I qualified for using Warp. And then over here is Ron Gardner's equity curve in the Warp Pro training room. That's every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. You can log in and follow along with Ron's trades from it's like pre-market till about lunchtime Eastern. And that costs a couple bucks per month, but there's also a deal at the end of the webinar. And it's something some people like to just stay in that room forever. Some people, it might be just a month or 2 to get a grip on some stuff. You can also book sessions with me if you need some more training. Yeah, there's a lot of cool nuance with the software. So we got to know when in the future to be proactive versus, like I was saying earlier, being just reacting all the time with lagging tools like, oh, stochastic crossover, buy, or I'm going to put a limit order on such and such price, and hopefully it works. I don't know. I think I'm looking at it. I don't know. So with this software, I can be much more quantitative, and it could be argued that the system that I use is 100% quantitative. The big banks and institutions, as hopefully we all know, they stack the playing field hardcore against us retail traders. I like this image. It really, it just speaks it. I don't even know if I need to use any words. That's the playing field stacked against us as retail traders. Is what, 95% of us will never make it in this field. It's not a hobby to me. This is life, and this is life and death stuff. Yeah, it's money, but people lose marriages over this. I don't even want to get into some more darker stuff, but this is money means things. Food, shelter, family. This is the violation tracker industry summary page. I should find this again and see how much this went up. I think I screenshotted this maybe 3-4 months ago. I mean, look at Bank of America, $82 billion in penalties, 264 records. Why aren't they just shut down? Why are they allowed to still exist? That's a lot of penalties. There's no felonies in there. There's no misdemeanors, nothing. That's just a penalty. Like, oh, slap on the wrist. Go. It's okay, guys. Just don't do that again. Wink, wink. We'll take your penalty money, and we're not going to ask for all that extra money that you guys made doing that nefarious whatever the heck you were doing with some insider trading or whatever the heck. As long as you keep giving us the penalty money, just keep letting that, just keep doing that nefarious stuff. No worries. And the cycle turns over and turns over again and again and again. Stop runs and whatever else. I'm just looking at some questions real quick. So can we use this, Rajesh? So can we use this to fund buying the Software? What? The Apex accounts? Well, yeah, but you got to buy the software first. We don't do. There's no free trials for lots of reasons. This software is beyond free trial. Like, oh, can I just try it for a day? Well, instead of that, we can do a Zoom meeting together, and I can show you stuff one-on-one, and we can do a trial like that. So let's talk about WD GAN. Does everybody know what WD GAN is? It's one of the most, sorry, I'm just laughing at the chat. One of the most successful traders, smartest, I feel like, traders of all time. This guy knew how to think outside the box. Plus, look how handsome this chap is. Look at that suit. Almost makes me feel like cutting my hair and getting myself a little suit like that. I think maybe, yeah, I could sport a suit like that. I'd have to cut my hair though. I've been growing my hair out ever since COVID started, and now it's like down past my shoulders. I used to have a haircut like this. Time is the most important. Wait a minute, what? Time? How many people on how many free YouTube trading videos like talk about time? Probably like 5%, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Nobody talks about time. If you want to hear about time on the YouTube world, you gotta search for it. It doesn't just come up. And once you do, I mean, people will talk about time, and you can actually go on YouTube. You can learn a fair amount about GAN and GAN theory. And if you're anything like me and you start learning about GAN theory, you will quickly learn that it is extremely complicated and very mentally taxing. And honestly, this software, I think, yeah, it rivals. Well, GAN has his own stuff. Anyway, we're not gonna compare. However, time is the most important factor of all, and not until sufficient time has expired does any big move start up or down. Time is the most important factor in determining market movements, and by studying the past records of the averages of individual stocks, instruments, you will be able to prove for yourself that history does repeat, and that by knowing the past, you can tell the future. There is a definite relation between time and price. There's GAN, still looking like a handsome chap. I like those collars. Looks like he's got a couple more years on him than this one. Guy had style. Has anybody read Tunnels Through the Air? I still haven't read that. I feel like I should. I mean, esoteric. This guy was an esoteric trader. Now, by a study of the time periods and time cycles, you will learn why tops and bottoms are found at certain times, and why resistance levels are so strong at certain times, and bottoms and tops hold around them. There's GAN's square 9. Good luck figuring that out on a daily basis on a 3-minute chart. If anybody can do that, please let me know and shoot me over your signals immediately, because I'd love to pair them with Warp. So as humans, Stephen Covey says, we simply assume that the way we see things is the way that they really are, or the way that they should be, and our attitudes and behaviors grow out of those assumptions. There's a really cool video on YouTube. You can search probably so I don't want to give it away. Just search basketball college study psychology, something like that. It'll probably come up. Let me see. Basketball college study psychology video. Because if I say what it is, oh, yes, count the basketball passes I can't show the YouTube video on here, but if you search count the basketball passes, yeah, just I don't want to give it away, but just check that out. No spoilers. So big money leaves big tracks. If you trade 10,000, 100,000, they trade 1 million to 1 trillion. So what the software does is it goes back in time and it looks for these big footprints and then projects those where those footprints may occur again out into the future. Because, I mean, for multiple reasons, but some of the reasons include that big money follows routines, business procedures, federal fund regulations, international regulations, markets opening and closing. I got a whole opening range theory around this that I've been developing over the last 6 months or a year or so. Payment receipts, payment distributions, fund rebalancing, filing deadlines. Then you trade something like NASDAQ or ES, and then you get like this cool average of all of the companies that are included on that index and those swing points. That's one of the reasons I really like to trade futures, well, specifically index futures with this software. If billions and trillions are moved in and out of the markets regularly at those times, we should see a trail, and we do. It's unmistakable once you get to know the software and once you buy it. You will see, or you'll see down here on the webinar. Follow the signals once you know the trading methodology. Follow the signals that come out in the emails, and that's how a lot of people have ended up buying the software. I don't know if I have the energy to read all that. Those are the gold rule. We all know that. There's 90%, there's us, there's Goldman Sachs. This is Michael's image. You win battles by knowing the enemy's timing and using timing, which the enemy does not expect. Miyamoto Musashi, it's the book of the 5 rings. It's actually translated incorrectly from everybody translates that incorrectly. It's the book of the 5 scrolls, if I want to be a stickler. So I practice the art of the Iaido samurai, and I do martial arts, Hapkido and Umyang-do back in when I was a kid and stuff, but I still practice the art of the katana. So this is what I visualize. It's a little more gnarly. It's still Japanese, which is kind of funny, sumo. It's a little more gnarly than Michael's image, but I'll leave this up here for a second because these samurai are the retail traders that have just blown up their accounts or lost trades on stop runs, thinking that they knew which way the market would go, that they knew better, but they never seem to do. Well, sometimes they do. You can get lucky. You can always make money. You know, monkey can make money. Give him a red button and a green button. And then Goldman Sachs, just walking away, having a good old time. Having a good old time, nice and relaxed too. Notice how he's not even stressing? Let me get this out of here. It's distracting me. Okay, there we go. See if there's any questions. See if I try this out. Don, what's up, Don? How's it going? Just reading your questions here. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Don. Thank you. Thanks for saying that. Yeah, Don says, hopefully you don't mind if I. Okay, sweet. Don says for a free trial, they can try the times sent out for Wednesday and Thursday. That's a free trial tunnel through the air. Oh, that's a free trial. And then the second sentence, tunnels through the air is extremely difficult to understand. Yeah, I know. That's probably why I've been avoiding reading it. Well, maybe I just needed to come out on Audible because I don't really like reading books anymore now that Audible exists. Yeah, but that is a free trial. Like once you understand how the signals work, which we're going to go over charts in here in just a second, I promise. Once you understand how to trade the software, you can literally look at the signals sent to you via email, or I mean, just you don't even have to go to via email. Just go on backtofuturetrading.com. Here's how to do it. We'll go from the beginning. Backtofuturetrading.com. About live weekly webinars. Walk you right through it. Here's your free trial. TimeWarp projections. You can also register for the Thursday webinar if you have any friends. That's how they do it. And then here are the times we'll be analyzing on Thursday. Or you can the whole idea is analyze them your darn self. You know, I mean, I don't want people aren't going to stick around for 10 hours while I analyze every single market and every single time frame for Wednesday and Thursday. That's not going to happen. But there they are. So you just go to the website and do that. There's free trial. Yeah, totally. Thanks, Don. Thanks for bringing that up. It's a really good way to posit that. So yeah, so the idea with this software is to trade when the banks do. These are, I call them bank times or institutional trading times or windows in time. They're not, I don't trade the signal per se. I trade the window. So I want to be in that bank window, that institutional window, and I want to draft behind the big boys. I don't want to draft behind a scooter. I want to draft behind a race car. Okay, we're almost to charts. Anybody who has not read Mark Douglas, Trading in the Zone, highly, 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 highly cannot recommend reading it enough. I've read it on Audible 6 times. I'll probably read it again, but 6 times it really drilled into my head 6 times. And then there's a gentleman named Randy Howell. I'm not sure if anybody has taken his psychology course, and I was opposed to paying for a psychology course. And wait, what? There's a Randy Howell actor too? Crazy. Trading. So Randy Howell, he's funny. He kind of looks like Mark Douglas a little bit, but Randy Howell is a clinical psychologist, and for me, I took the course, and Randy was able to drill into my body, emotional mind state, the ideas in this book. He was able to put the idea and philosophy into my physiology. Trading in the Zone didn't really do that for me. I had a great intellectual, and still do, intellectual understanding, but not till Randy Howell. Here he is. Little Randy Howell plug. No affiliation whatsoever with Randy Howell, but you can watch some of his free videos. They're fantastic, actually. His free videos. He's just such a nice guy. There's no way that he's not being honest. He really, really, really loves to help traders. He didn't even mean to start helping traders, but after a while, I realized that like half of his clients were like institutional traders and whatnot, and like people working for prop firms. And he talked to his wife, and his wife's like, well, maybe we should just, or they decided together, maybe we should just focus the business on only traders. So for 15 years, he's been only working with traders. I think he probably has more experience in trading psychology than anybody else on the web today. Is it this one? I think this is his website here. Yeah, here it is. And there's a free ebook, actually, that's really cool. I don't know how to get to it. I think you gotta subscribe to the email or something. But the guy's name in the ebook is Jake, which I think is pretty funny. Anyway, there's this is from Mark Douglas, Trading in the Zone. I'm just gonna read this, then I'm gonna read the 7 principles of consistency, the 5 fundamental truths, then we're gonna look at some charts. There's a random distribution between wins and losses for any given set of variables that defines an edge. And that's what we're going to go over here in a second. We're going to go over my personal edge on the NASDAQ, 3-minute, and maybe we'll look at the 5-minute as well, see how far we get. So this truth makes trading a probability or numbers game. When you really believe that trading is simply a probability game, concepts like right and wrong or win and lose no longer have the same significance. As a result, your expectations will be in harmony with the possibilities. So anything can happen. There's anything can happen at any given time, but we need to be, as traders, we need to be in harmony with the expectations of possibilities. I keep a copy of these and these on my trading desk at all times. The 5 fundamental truths of trading as per Mark Douglas. Number 1, anything can happen. Number 2, you don't need to know what is going to happen next to make money. Like I was saying, you could give a monkey a red button and a green button and literally have those red buttons and green buttons go to buy and sell on the NASDAQ. And that monkey might come out net positive for the day. Literally, no problem. But over time, will he? Does that monkey have an edge? Oh, I don't know, but this software and the associated trading methodology with it, it is a legitimate edge. Number 3, there's random distribution between wins and losses for any given set of variables that define an edge. So that goes right back to anything can happen. It's a random distribution of wins and losses. Number 4, an edge is nothing more than an indication of higher probability of one thing happening over another. It might only be 1%. What's your risk management strategy look like? Is it a 2-to-1? Is it a 5-to-1? Is it 10-to-1? You could probably have I'm probably gonna screw this math up, and I probably shouldn't even say this, but you could have like a 20-to-1, I'm just gonna totally off the cuff, 20-to-1 risk reward ratio, and only have a win percentage of like 25%, right? I believe, and still make money. That's why I love when people ask me what the win percentage is. Like, why does that even matter? It matters psychologically, I get that. And depending on what your risk model is, it does matter, but that's not anywhere near as important. I think it's the least important stat. Profit factor, that's a good one, but win probability, like all depends on your risk management. Yeah. Number 5, every moment in the market is unique. Every single moment. The 7 principles of consistency. Number 1, I objectively identify my edge. I'm going to show you guys what my edge is and how I objectively define it. Number 2, I predefine the risk of every trade. Number 3, I completely accept the risk, or I'm willing to let go of the trade. Number 4, I act on my edges without reservation or hesitation. I hesitated on one trade today, and I was like, oh, well, it's already went down, and I don't know, and I've already made X amount, and of course it went right down to freaking should have sold, and it went right down to target 1 and target 2, and I'll be showing that trade that I missed in a second. Number 5, I pay myself as the market makes money available to me. Does your trading strategy allow that? I think that number 5 is one that people often overlook. Number 6, I continually monitor my susceptibility for making errors. I was talking about last week because of that trading course with Randy Howell. He talks a lot about breath work and it's just rhythmic breathing. Really, there's some really cool TED Talks on rhythmic breathing and how it syncs brain waves. Actually, it's not woo-woo. It literally syncs your brain and heart waves into more pattern-like waves instead of just haphazard randomness. So with that breathing technique, I mean, I would literally have this breathing app on my phone for 2 hours. I should probably start doing it again for 2 hours and breathe just for 2 hours while I'm trading. In for 6 seconds, in for 6 seconds, hold for 2, out for 6 seconds, hold for 2 seconds, and there was a little sound like the whole time, and it helped, really helps. Number 7, I understand the absolute necessity of these principles of consistent success, and therefore I never violate them. So yeah, what that breathing thing does is it helps me monitor my susceptibility for making errors. A successful trader studies human nature and does the opposite of what the general public does. So this trading software, oh my God, a chart, ladies and gentlemen, a chart. He has yapped for an hour, and we finally get to see a chart. Is everybody still here? I like to see if everybody still stays around. Just kidding. Well, that's why I had to take a deep breath before I went through those slides, because it's a lot to go through, and that's part of my job while Michael's away is to go through those slides. Whew, okay, I'll take a breath here, and I guess I'm gonna have a little drink here. Hold on a second. I'll shift gears. Everybody, take a look at that beautiful ocean floor, sand view. It's not really an ocean. Is that an ocean view? If there's not a horizon, here's a poll. If there's not a horizon, is it an ocean view or is it an ocean scene? I'm gonna mute myself for a second while I shake this drink that I have here. Hold on. Oh, Brad, yeah, thanks for reminding me about tapping. Yeah, I used to do tapping. I should probably start doing that again. Okay. So let's look at some chats. You guys want to look at some chats? Are there any ladies here? Are there? Sharon. Hi, Sharon. Just want to make sure when I say guys, well, we're not all guys. Folks. Now I can say folks. All right, folks, you ready to start looking at some charts? Let's take care of this here background. Chart background image. No. Okay. All right. Before we get started, let's look at the settings. Oh man, wake up, Jake, wake up. So we have, make that bigger, everybody can see there. Exactly the same settings that were sent out via email. That's an imperative. I'm not going to show charts and like, oh, like change anything. So calendar days, 7/14, swing 8. So the software is going back in time and it's looking for swings that are as strong as a swing 8. I don't have the time to go into exactly what that means, but quantitatively, Ninjatrader and the historical data, like we can determine what a swing 8 is, or a 4, or a 3, or a 20. It's like a swing. It's the strength. It's like I guess you could consider like a ruler, like a wave ruler. I don't know. Calendar days. So we're telling the software to look back 7 days. And for the source 2, we're telling to look back 14 days. And my stop is 1.5. 1.5 times the last 7 bars. So it's the average true range of the last 7 bars multiplied by 1.5. Exactly how Michael always does the webinars. It's actually exactly how I trade the NASDAQ as well. Can everybody see my blues and my whites and stuff? How's that look to everybody? That's good. Yeah, I'm not gonna have a sip of whiskey too, Doug. That's I don't know if that would help. Yeah, I'm in Santa Barbara, California, Vic. Thanks for asking. How did you adjust the location of the trade pattern bubble? Mine are too close to the candle. That's a really good question. Here, I'll show you. And just to plug myself again, if you want to book a one-on-one with me, I mean, there's all sorts of stuff that we can do for existing that I can help you with as existing customers. Like, I mean, even something as simple as like, what is that setting? How do we do that? So this volatility stop offset multiple is 1.5, right? But the timestamp offset multiple is also 1.5. If that's 0.5, watch what's going to happen to the timestamp. Now it's below the dot. Watch what happens when we make it 1. Probably going to be right on the dot. Really annoying. Where's my dot? I can't find my dot. So that's what that is. And then there's also a setting where you can go in and you can look at how you can tell your patterns. So you go to Signal Accessory Editor, all patterns, and then if we're going to show patterns, we would click that, and then we can adjust how large of a font we're going to use, and we can tell the software how far in ticks away to put the pattern number. But with this strategy, we're not going to use patterns. So yeah, hopefully that explains that. Did I get everything back to how it was? Shoot, let me make sure. Distracted myself. 7/14, 1.5, swing 8, yes. Okay, so let's, for everybody, so anybody who doesn't have the software, it's a few of you, These here dots are the life force bread and butter of the TachEon TimeWarp software. These dots are what the software is intent. This is the deal. This is the meat. And very simply, we'll start with this 306 dot here. White dots mean up. Now they can invert, and there's all sorts of cool things we can do with these dots, but for today's purposes, white dots mean up, blue dots mean down. And these are windows in time. Oops, windows in time. And you can tell the software to project out days in advance. You'll know exactly where your charts are. I mean, where your trade opportunity zones are going to be. So if you use something like the 4-hour, which I don't, and please don't ask me to put a 4-hour chart on here because I don't know if I have. We don't even project those times out in the emails, and I would have to tune the chart before I could start using my strategy on it. It's like tuning a guitar. I was explaining to somebody the other day in a one-on-one meeting. It's like, yeah, most people want to tune their guitar to 440. So 440 hertz is like the starting point for a guitar, but there's electric guitars and they tune differently than acoustic guitars, and then there's all sorts of there's semi-hollows, there's nylon strings, then there's different ages of the guitar and different humidities, but it's still 440. So the idea with this software is that you want to get to 440, but what is the best tuning look like, and the methodology, and how to tune, basically how to tune the software to the market or the market to the software. So yeah, blue dots are down, white dots are up. But the market just doesn't do this, right? I mean, this would be totally too good to be true, right? Oh yeah, buy, sell. But what's crazy is over time, the software, I have seen many thousands of trades. I actually have an Excel sheet somewhere. Somewhere over the rainbow, I have spreadsheets, lots of them. And even if you just go dot to dot, I can't psychologically trade like this, but if you go dot to dot, the edge will, hypothetically speaking, of course, don't sue me, the edge will appear as a positive net equity curve, which is kind of crazy, right? But the market doesn't do that. So what I've done is I've come up with a methodology where it's a little bit more complex to trade than just dot to dot, but we can still do a dot to dot test on the NASDAQ 3 and see what happens. So these, like I was saying, are windows in time. Oops. That's actually a buying zone. So that's a selling zone, tiny little selling zone here, selling zone from 530 to 548, selling zone from 609 to 636, just right off the chart there. And just for illustration purposes, I am gonna switch these colors just for the newbies. Let's go with lawn green today. Lawn green, okay. Wonderful. And buy zone. And buy zone. There's zones. And buy zone. But what's the price actually going to do? Like maybe the price does something like, oh geez, shoot straight up, come way down, shoot straight up again, then down, and then up. So that's, that's a little bit more probable than this. So what to do about that? But over time, the software really does end up with a positive equity curve. I'm not saying that you will, but the software will. Absolutely does. With the right settings, the software will. But you're a human being. So maybe this shoots all the way down, and then comes up and then back down. So this could be, that could be reasonable. And then there's stuff that Michael would have me not talk about during the webinar on inversions of these dots and how these dots can actually act in different ways depending on what the institutions do before to try to trick us retail traders. So like, what if the price just makes a hardcore dump right before this white dot? I can see Michael like, don't say it, don't go into this, Jake, don't do it, don't talk about the patterns. Well, I'm not really going to talk about them. Well, maybe I am. Now, what happens if the price goes up into this dot and it comes way up? Is the price going to keep going up, even though they dumped it and then just creamed it towards the ceiling right before? Well, buy the software and we'll show you what that means, or what to do in that situation. Actually, I'm going to tell you what to do in that situation with my trading software with my methodology, without having to deal with even trying to understand the patterns. So hopefully people who do not have the software understand white dot to blue dot. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to remove all drawing tools. Okay, so what we can do is go to beginning of the trading day here in my time. And I actually have not done this for the day. I really have no idea what dot to dot is going to end up with, but we can do it as a test. If we're just going to sell, if we're just going to buy and sell and buy and sell and buy and sell, dot to dot, not caring about the EMA, not caring about the stop loss. So, oh, and I should mention before we get started, for people who do not know, the dot is also called the dot price line, and this line right here is what I was talking about earlier in the settings. This is drawn automatically by the software, and this distance from the dot, so from this line to the close of this candle, is that average true range of the last 7 bars times 1.5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6, 7. That 7-bar window is that stop distance of the next signal. So for this one, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, depending on how you look at it. And then it would take the average, and then, so the average actually is probably about half of that, and that's how the software comes up with that as the stop distance. Just that alone is amazing, an amazing thing that the software does, let alone figuring out what those swing points are. And some of you might be wondering, well, this white dot set up, it said it was supposed to go up and price went straight down. Well, that's one of those white dots with the price moving higher and higher and higher into the white dot that I was just referring to back over here on my diagram that I was just deleted, which maybe I probably shouldn't have. So let's we can do a dot to dot study. Let's do a dot to dot study. So we're gonna buy at the white dots, and we're gonna sell at the blue dots. If I almost don't want to do it because my strategy's so much better. So if the price hits any of these stop lines, then that means we're stopped out. Okay, and we're not paying. Well, I guess we should pay attention to the EMA. Well, this is a 21 period whole moving average, by the way. What did I do last week? Yeah, last week I think I just did the dot to dot without even considering the moving average at all. What do you guys want me to do? Do you want me to bother with the dot to dot or just show my strategy again? I mean, I don't really care. I just want to show you that this. I'm just want to make sure that this is indeed the 21 whole moving average. The whole moving average is an algorithm invented by an Australian gentleman named Mr. Hull, and it uses more recent price weighted towards the recent prices. I'm not exactly sure how it works, but then he uses the square root of those more recent prices, but still 21 bars. So what you get is a very, very reactive moving average. And because it is so reactive, I don't use close above or closed below. I just use the color change. I want the color to match the dot color. So here, for instance, here at this 648, oops, my wrist. Here at this 648 sell signal, we have a white whole moving average. So to sell this dot, we would need a blue moving average, but we have a white one. So I am absolutely not surprised that the price comes up and punctures the stop line. That's actually called a stop puncture trade. Maybe I'll feed you little baby birds who don't have the software. I'll feed you little baby nuggets of what some of this trading strategies. I actually haven't went over this part of it. This is part of mine, but I haven't gone over. It's the only part that I've actually left out of my trading strategy with the general webinar population, just because, I mean, it's not necessary, but this is a tried and true trading method. Basically, it's like, oh, the banks have been historically selling at 648, but they didn't show up for this one. Instead, because they didn't show up, the price went completely in the opposite direction, punctures this stop line, and because this stop line gets punctured and closes above, that means we actually have the license to go long here. So that's one way that these signals can invert to the upside. Now, when I teach my strategy here in a second, we'll see that we wouldn't have gotten into this short initially anyway. Well, first of all, our whole moving average is white, and we're on a blue dot, so we ain't going long, we ain't going short there. So we can try dot to dot. Let's do dot to dot, but sync it with the moving average at least, because that's what Michael would do. So open here is at 6:30 a.m. my time in California. So let's see. Yeah, you're right, Don. Dot to dot isn't realistic to trade. I'll just show my strategy. To heck with it. I mean, you can go do dot to dot. It's true. You can go do dot to dot on your own. You just take the ruler tool and you just go. So I'll just do a couple. Dot to dot, dot, stop dot, dot, dot to dot, dot. It's just like makes my strategy look really good this day. To dot, to dot, to dot, dot. Yeah, dot to dot was not the way to go today. I don't even feel like bothering with the rest of it. But you can easily go do that with the, if anybody's interested, you know, just pull up the Back to the Future website, go find those signals, and then you can do dot to dot, or anybody who has software, go do dot to dot on your own. It's really not that hard. Drawing tools, it's boring to me. Remove all drawing objects. Yes. Okay, so here's my strategy. And yeah, we can book a one-on-one if you'd like me to slow down and just teach you individually. This day, I think it's worth incorporating the stop puncture. On all those other days, I actually did incorporate the stop punctures when I was trading. I just, I don't know, I felt like it was a lot to teach all of that on the webinar, but it's really not that much. So I don't trade the first 10 minutes, number one. So 6:30 to 6:40, Jake don't trade. So it's kind of hard to determine what candle is what. So here's the close of the first 3-minute bar. So technically the market opens at the open of this candle, and then we have 3 minutes elapsed by the time this candle closes. And then, so right up, it doesn't matter because we're not going to trade. This isn't a valid signal anyway. So here's the first 10 minutes. I let that go by. And what we're looking for are closes above the open price line, and the open price line is this blue line here for blue signals, and this white line here for buy signals. And to confirm the trade, So let's just go one by one. So here at 6:33 a.m., we're not trading anyway, and we got to close below. I'll just teach as I go, and then we got to close below. So right now, well, first of all, we need the moving average to match our signal, and right off the bat, we can see that our moving average is blue. We also need to close above the open price line. We never get that, and our EMA doesn't change colors either. So what should I do here? Maybe let me just find, this just was like a kind of, I need to find one real quick that is successful and very easy to teach on. Okay, so this 1048 signal, here's one. So 1048 signal means down. This is a sell window from 1048 to 1121. We're looking for 3 stages or 3 locks to be open in order to trade. The first lock is the sell window. Then to confirm that sell window, we need the whole moving average to be blue. Sell window, lock 1. Whole moving average, lock 2. For the third lock to allow a sell is we need a candle closing below this open price line. And that's this candle here. And our entry is simply market selling as soon as this candle closes. And I have this sweet Fibonacci tool that I made as a risk reward tool, basically. And so when I'm drawing this, I'm just looking up here at the wick because my stop loss is going to be replaced right up here at this wick. And obviously that red shaded area is my stop loss. Okay, so my stop loss to first target is here, second target is here. My stop loss to first target is a 1-to-1, and my second target's a 2-to-1, and that's really easy to do with this Fibonacci tool. Or you can, do it however you want. You can make a box. You could just simply do, well, let me just make a box like this, and then you can Control C, Control V. First target's going to be here, and then you could Control C, Control V. Your second target is going to be here. Whoa! So we have our entry. We have target 1, target 2, 3 stops. Okay. So our 3 stops are going to be here. Entry is here. Target, oh, get off there, get off there. Move that. So target 2 is, I'll put it right where the target actually gets it. And target 1 is here. Our entries are here. So we have 3 stops. 1, I'm gonna make these red. So really all I really need to do is just explain this one sell, and then we'll understand what a buy is, and because it's just the same thing but upside down. So let me get rid of these boxes for a second. Control C, Control V, Control C, Control V. So we have our 3 stops, and I always place them, a few ticks above the wick. I'm gonna leave them spread out like this just so we can see, but they would all be in the same place. And I have an ATM strategy already ready to go with my target 1 and target 2 split up and all my 3 stops together. And our entry was here at the close of this candle. This is our candle of significance. This candle closed below the open price line. It's in the sell window, and our whole moving average is blue. I don't care if we're closing above or below the moving average. It's a whole moving average. It's so quick that closes above and below it don't really matter that much, as far as I'm concerned. And there's some other opinions out there that would confirm. So our target 1 is hit here for 68 ticks. And here's a really nice part about this strategy. As soon as target 1 is hit, it's time to relax, man. That's gone, right? That was our stop loss. So now we have 2 positions. Oh, I forgot to mention the runner. People are like, what the heck about the... So our runner position is going to be closed at the dot. Okay, so target 1 gets hit here. And as soon as target 1 gets hit, our 2 remaining stops move to break even. So we are risk-free all the way until we hit our second target and until our runner completes running at the next dot. So, and sell second position, all this is all at the same time. And that gets filled here. And the runner is doing its thing. We never come back and get stopped out of break even. When you're back testing this strategy, make sure you're aware that every once in a while, actually, it does happen. I don't know, maybe 30% of the time you'll get stopped out at break even. And our second target is 144, and our runner continues down to a max excursion of 222, and then comes back up and closes at the 1121 buy dot for 159 ticks. If neither target 1 or 2 were hit, and we come into our next buy dot, we just have to close all 3 positions and wait to see what happens on the next signal. So that's I feel like that's a pretty good explanation of a short. Let me find one long that's easy to teach on. Oh, yeah, this one will work actually. This little buddy here, this little guy. Wish I had more beverage. Oh, thanks. This is today. This is today, August 11th. Yeah, the trades are fun. It's like playing a video game. You have to move fast. You have to be, as soon as we can go over this on one-on-ones. I don't want to spend too much time on like the intricate details of the strategy, but I'll show you how to set up an ATM strategy real quick on the fly. So once you're in this trade, you can just walk away and not have to even manage the trade until 11:21 when you need to come back and close all 3 positions if necessary. So let's see, let's bring these over, save a little bit of time. I think that trade was right here, right? Wasn't that far away? Yeah, sweet. Okay. And I need runner. Okay, so we'll do it so we're not even, so we're looking at this window in time, this buy window here. There's a buy window from 9:21 to 9:30. I'm gonna change the color here to green. Just real quick, it won't take long, but I feel like it's worth it for people who don't have the software yet, just to beat it into your heads that that's a buy window. It doesn't mean we're gonna buy right at 9:21. However, you can. I don't, but you can. Today, I don't think it would have worked out that well. So we do have a white whole moving average. We're on a white dot, so we're technically considered uptrending as far as the whole is concerned. And we need to wait for a candle to close above the open price line. It could be the very next candle. It could be the next candle. We don't know when that's going to happen. So you do have to pay attention until that happens. So 3 minutes later, we do get a close above the open price line. And we only have till 9:30 to hold on to this trade. So we don't have long, but that is a valid setup. So we would enter the market long right at the close of this candle. And then our stop loss would be extrapolated out to the wick of the entry candle. And again, we have our runner position. Our entry was right here. 3 stops are here. Target 1 is here. Target 2 is up here. And we don't know where our runner is going to be yet. So we are in the trade, 3 stops. Let me draw those in real quick. I'm going to spread them out just so they're easy to see. And we hit target 1. Entry was here, target 1. So we still have 3 minutes. I don't exit as soon as this candle starts forming. I exit as soon as this candle is done forming and when it closes. And then, so we had target 1 got hit. So our stop losses that stop loss is moved aside, and our remaining stop losses are moved to break even. And basically somewhere in that 3 minutes, we have to close those 2 remaining positions. The one was for target 2 and the other one was for the runner. And we close those right at the close of the 9:30 candle, which would be here. So that's a little baby right there. 75 ticks on NASDAQ though. That can be really nice. Even on the micros, if you're using a couple micros per position there. So there was a long, there was a short, and then today's a good day to show how I deal with stop puncture trades with this strategy. Actually, right here at the 648, I basically just use the stop line as if it were an open price line. So the first thing that I want to do is we're coming along, say we don't know what's actually going to happen. At 648, we have a white whole moving average, and it is certainly not in confluence with the 648 sell dot. So let me just draw that red in here. Selling window. Okay. So here I'm either waiting for a candle to close below the open price line or puncture the stop line and basically invert this blue dot. The banks don't show up, and then we're going to go long if we get a candle closing above this stop line, as if it were a white open price line. Here we do have a candle closing below the open price line, but our whole moving average is white, so we can't enter. We're still below the open price line, but our whole is still white, still white, still white. Now we've closed above the open price line in the selling window, and we're headed towards the stop line. This is the candle of significance for entering long. Because this candle punctures the stop line, it can be safely assumed, as far as my strategy is concerned, that the banks did not show up for this short, as the software found has been at enough historical significance. They didn't show up for this one. And price went completely opposite direction. This is enough for me. No other indicators. This is literally all I have on my trading chart. And then I would actually enter long at the close above that stop line and call that a puncture trade. Those are old trades that Michael and Ron have been using and teaching in warp rooms for a decade. So this is not my idea. My idea is how to place the targets and the stops. So we would enter, place this stop, just like we do on the open price line, place the stop below the wick. Target 1 is here, target 2 is here. Let me stretch this all the way out. And we hit target 1 here. And we move our stops to break even. We have 2 remaining stops, right? We had 3. Target 1 is hit. That one disappears. We move stops to break even. And then we wait to either hit target 2, or as soon as the 7:24 a.m. candle closes, we exit the remaining 2 positions. And it looks like we're pretty much stopped at break even there, pretty darn close. Either way, so target 1, let's make sure that actually did hit underneath there. Did it? Oh man, that's close. Let's see how accurate that is. Oh no, oh yeah, it definitely did. And then the last 2 positions are, I guess I don't know if that would have hit break even or not. It's pretty close. We can call that break even or plus 10. We have to zoom in, I guess. Yeah, doesn't look like it. Let me get that sloppiness away. See if I can tighten this up a little bit. And then hopefully that's enough. And then I'm gonna zoom through a bunch of trades and we'll get the spreadsheet out and we'll just see how this day did with my strategy. Don, do you trade the 3-minute chart only, or do you use multiple time frames or bias? No, I'm sick of the multiple time frame things. I do trade the 5-minute chart independently without any care on what the 3-minute's doing. I've tried all sorts of stuff with higher time frames and only trading in the direction of 1-hour signals on the 3-minute or whatever, and I don't do that anymore. Strategy seems to be good enough where I don't need to do that. Just extra brain power. Hopefully that's enough explanation. I'm going to run through some trades here. So we didn't trade this one. There is no signal here. So we did trade this one. We just went over that. So I'm waiting for a close above this open price line. Nope, we actually have a stop puncture trade here. We close below. And we have a blue whole moving average. So we would enter short. Target 1 gets hit here. Our remaining stops are moved to break even. Keep an eye out for that. Nope, stops are not hit break even. We close the remaining 2 positions here at 803. We'll see if I can put these in line on top of each other so it's a little easier to understand where the trades are coming from for everybody. Being mindful of the time, 2:30. Yeah, I think it usually seems like it takes me about 2 hours to do this webinar. Okay. The whole moving out, just to confirm, since this is like our second stop puncture trade, and it's actually the opposite direction. It's actually perfect to have these two back to back. This is a selling window puncture trade long to the upside. This is a buying window puncture trade short to the downside. So these two trades are mirror images of each other. So at 803, our whole moving average is still down. Again, we couldn't have, I wouldn't have gotten into this puncture trade if our whole moving average was white. Our whole moving average is blue to confirm shorts. And as we come into the 803 signal, our hull is set up for shorts. So now we're just looking for a close below the open price line. There it is. This is our candle of significance, and this is going to determine our stops and targets. Target 1. Must feel like I need some music. Target 2. Nope, we do not get stopped out at break even. We close both remaining positions at the 818 signal candle. And we are in a buy window. Our whole moving average is blue, so no trade. Still no trade. Looking for either a close below that stop line or the whole moving average turning white and a close above. We got to close above the open price line, but the whole moving average is blue. Okay, this is our, okay, so this candle is not an entry. There's no syncopation of the white with the white. There's a blue with a white. Keep it simple. Now here, this candle right here ends up being our candle of significance. We would enter here, and our target would be, our targets and stop would be based on this candle. This happens to be the candle that closes above the open price line and flips the whole from blue to white. And stopped out on this one. No such thing as a perfect trading strategy. And by perfect, I mean doesn't ever take a loss. Okay, moving along. Any questions so far? Oh, I can't just send everybody my fib tool. You have to email me, Brad. I don't have everybody's email in like a list or whatever. I think I said if you email me, I can send you the fib tool. So yeah, if you email me, I'll put my email in the chat. JACLB at back to the futuretrading.com. And also email me there if you want to set up a private mentorship meeting, a one-on-one. Let me make sure I spelled that right. Yeah, there you go. There you go, Brad. Okay. Okay, sell window 854, whole moving average is blue. All we need is close below that open price line. There it is, it's a little stinker. That tiny little candle there. I don't know how that's not gonna get stopped out. So we would enter, stop goes above. Oh, just missed, oh, there it is. Stopped out here. 3 positions, 1, 2, 3. I didn't trade the whole day, so I actually literally have no idea how this day is going to turn out as far as equity goes. This one we already went over, spread those out a little bit. So we're looking for a close above, there it is, target 1, close all the remaining positions. Now we're either looking for a close below and a blue hull, or a puncture above. And oh yeah, I remember looking at this. I'm like, dude, I'm not trading this rangy nastiness. So no trade through here in this window. Still no trade, no trade, no trade, no, 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 no. Did that close above? That one did not close above. This one did. Our whole moving average is white. We close above, open price line. We're in a buy window. So we enter long here. Stop goes at the wick. Let me move this candle so I can see where the darn wick is. Oh, looks like that's pretty good. Extend that out right about there. Stopped out. Piece of junk. Piece of junk. Crappy crappage day. Oops. Okay, and then this one we already went over. So just to go over it one more time, blue dot, selling, close below open price line, close below hull. Target 1, target 2, and buy dot. So now we're just looking for the whole, oh, look at this. Oh man, some of the flips today were just not pleasant. So that is a close above and a white moving average. So our close is here. Stopped out immediately. I think we make up for a few of them though later. Yeah, this is just defining an edge. It's very quantitative though. I bet you we're still net positive even after those little losses. Okay, so now what to do here? We had this loss, and now we actually get a trading opportunity to the downside because we close below the stop price line right there. And our whole moving average is blue. So this is a STP trade, as I would call it, a stop puncture trade to the downside. We would enter here. Stop goes to the wick. Target 1, target 2. Target 1. Nope, I wasn't that accurate on that one. Target 2. And our stops are our runner, if you will, is taken out of break even. Looks like we're getting close to done for the day. And sell dot coming up at 12.12. All we need now is a close below the open price line. Our hull is down, and nope, not getting it. Not getting it, nothing. Okay, so now we just need a whole moving average to be white and a close above. Nope, not getting it. Oh, nope, 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 yep. So here we have open price line, close above, whole moving average to confirm, buy a window, and buy, oops, and buy at the close this candle here. Even though there's one candle left. There's still 3 minute, one 3 minute bar. You know, anything can happen. I don't know. Oh, look at that. Hit first target. And we got to close the remaining positions. 103. So we have almost, yeah, okay, 133, and then we're done for the day. Let's get that spreadsheet it out and see what happened. I really honestly don't know. I haven't looked at the day, and like I said, I haven't traded the whole day. Woo! Okay, let's bring that spreadsheet on in here. This is my Ryan Jones spreadsheet. The reason that this crazy number is here is because I don't want the fixed ratio contracts to change. We're gonna be trading with one. Let's make it fun at first to trade with one. We'll just say that these are minis. I don't feel like looking at $100. Let's look at thousands, but we can just change this to 50 cents. So our ticks are worth $5 on the NASDAQ, and we'll say our commissions are $5, which is actually heavy, depends on what Ninjatrader license you have. And this one is just a moving average part of the spreadsheet that we're not going to be using. So we're just going to put the ticks in here. Today's date is 8/11. Oops, fucking fat fingers, 11/22. Now we're going to put the ticks in as we go. Actually, I need to do this here. 1 second. So these are the commissions, just eating up the spreadsheet as we go. Okay, so let's do the top first, and then we'll go and, well, I guess we could make it more realistic looking and just go top to bottom, top to bottom. As in top to bottom, I mean wins and losses. 12, 110, 11, 116, 133, 116, 50, 5. Just be done for the day. Why push it? Now we're looking at these losses. Minus 64, minus 66, minus 64, minus 38, minus 40, minus 39, plus 77, 46, 75. A little tighter here, less range. Okay, so 75. Okay, so we're on these losses now. That's 49, 48, 49. Now we're on these wins. 68. Stop me if I mess something up. 159. Yeah, I think we're gonna end up making money. Minus 23, 66, 24. Now we're on the wins, 105, 56, 1. Last trade of the day here, right? Yep. 47, 46, 46. I think last week we had a $6,000 backtest day as well. We had a 6,000 and a 3,000. I lost that daggone spreadsheet. I had it somewhere. I wanted to try to keep it going for these weeks in a row. I don't know where it is. I don't want to waste everybody's time, but there was a $6,000 and a $3,000 day last week, and the week before that, it was like 4 and 3 or 3 and 5 or something. I don't know where it is. Yeah, well, it is a great present, Don. Sometimes you get white and blue dots at the same time. That's interesting. I don't know. Rachel might be the best person to reach out to about that. It's got to have something to do with, well, it could have something to do with your connection. It could have something to do with your data series. It could have something to do with your computer itself. It could have something to do with your internet. It could have something to do with your look back period or your swing strength. So I would start by just, oh, you're welcome, Larry. I would start by just setting your warp up exactly how I have mine with stock settings. Look back 714, swing strength 8, and just starting there, and I guess reaching out to Rachel. Yeah, right, Brad? Yeah, this system's really good, man. It's kind of becoming my bread and butter. I mean, well, it's not kind of, it totally is. Does anybody want to see the previous day as well, same system, or are we good to go? I mean, we might as well. I just don't really have much more energy left. I feel like I'm fading already. I was recovering from being sick last week. I kind of got a headache. Yes, previous day, fine, Doug. Just kidding. All right. You know what I wish I had? I wish I had on hold music because I really need something to drink. Okay, maybe I'll just have another mint. Somehow I went through all my beverage already. What were the wins, losses? I don't know. You're not asking me about the win percentage, are you? You know how I feel about that, Mary. I don't like win percentage. I don't know. Let's see. All the ones here. Oh, here you go. You can see it visually. Check that out. There's wins on the top, and then there's the losses on the bottom. The way that this spreadsheet is, it's a little, because of the way that the contracts are and this Ryan Jones method and the math behind the spreadsheet, it's a little weird to try to get this thing to tell me the win percentage. It would take me a second, but you can just look down here. I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, I don't know, like 26 wins and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 15 losses. So whatever that is. I honestly really don't think about win percentage at all. I think about money made or money lost. But yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty good. And those are, trades. It's also kind of an interesting to look at because these are positions within trades. So 3 positions within trades. So if you look at these 3 losses, so you have to look at these losses in triplets. So really if you want to talk about trades and not positions, so these are full stop. We can't just get stopped out on, with this system, we can't just get stopped out on 1 position. If we're going to get stopped out, we're getting 3 of them at the same time, which is kind of scary, but a freaking thing works. So really we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 losses, and if we look at these in triplets, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wins. Does that help, Mary? Yep, there you go. Let me know what that percentage is while I do this. Thank you. Oh yeah, look at this crate. Remember this yesterday? That 5:30 a.m. econ, whatever it was here. It's job reports or something, unemployment. Okay, so let's see, 612. Oops, where's my, there it is. The day opens here at 6:30. I don't trade the first 10 minutes, so I'm not trading up to here. 64% win rate. Thanks, Brad. Pretty good. And like I have a 2-to-1 and a 1-to-1 risk reward, and then a lot of times depending on the day, on trending days, that runner will end up being like on a fair amount of trades. It'll end up being more than a 2-to-1. Usually only on trending days though. Okay, so let's start. Here's the day opening at 6:30, and let's cruise along like this. I think it's easiest to just go like this. Okay, looking for, okay, so this would be an entry here. Stopped out. I remember this morning was a serious pain in the buttski, but then I think it makes up for it substantially later. I can remember correctly. Okay, now we're looking for the whole, oh, there it is. Target 1. Stop down and break even for the remaining. Remember that agitating me yesterday. But I was actually glad because then I actually would have lost 10 or 15 ticks here on that retrace. Buying window, looking for the whole moving it. There it is. Whole moving average flip up and a close above. Tiny little sucker there. Oh, target 1, target 2, target 1, and target 2. And our runner got to run on this son of a gun. That's why I have the runner on there. Runner runs all the way up to here. And just absolutely making sure we did not get stopped back out at break even here. And if you're in doubt after that first target is hit, wait for this candle to close until you move your stop to break even, because this candle can come up and down. And you know, if you weren't careful, if somehow this candle went up to here and you had an auto ATM and it dragged your stop, just anyway, I can explain more in private mentor stuff, but just wait for that candle to close before you move to break even. Okay. Yeah, everybody who's been doing the private mentor things, they have really been liking it. That makes me happy when people get stuff out of it. Okay, so this candle here is our this is not a valid sell yet until we get the flip of the HMA, and this little buddy here becomes our candle of significance. Tiny little thing. That's gonna get stopped out. Yep, of course. I'm not saying that there's not better ways to trade this, and you couldn't add all sorts of stuff to make this a better strategy. The idea is to not be too complicated, to not have another chart open, to not have an oscillator of some kind, to not have multiple EMAs, to not have a price ladder open in another window. Literally, can you make money with just this one chart in front of your face and the tools on this chart, and that's it? That's what I want to know. That's what I do. Okay, so now we're at a buy window, and we have confluence here. Oh, let me drag this all the way over. We have a white and a close above. That's an easy way to kind of say it. Oops. White, close above. Oops. We hit target 1 here, and we move to break even. So we are stopped out at break even on those remaining trades. 920. All right, now we're looking for a close below or a stop puncture. Nope, nothing all through here. It's like, that's awesome. I love seeing that, actually. This is lunchtime, East Coast, and not surprisingly, look at it ranging right perfectly between the stop line and the open price line. That's freaking cool, man. Okay, so this little guy here, that's a win, or that's an entry rather, and that's a real quick trade. 18 ticks times 3. Close all positions at the sell dot. Now we're gonna sell window. Nothing happens there. Close above. Make this little volume really died off for a bit there. I can't remember if it picks up or not. Stopped out. Oops. Whatever. Close enough. I'll give myself more of a loss than necessary. Okay, and then comes back up and closes back above again. So we have a choice to make. Do we re-enter and try again? A lot of times I actually do. This is the first opportunity that we've seen of that so far in all of the trading. Oh no, we did see this one. Let me see here. Yeah, I guess maybe let's not count it because we didn't count that other one. So if you get stopped out one time, the window's dead, we can say, even though this would have been a nice win to add. But we would have to add this, we would have to add another loss in here, which we could do. but then we get another close above and then below. So I don't know. That gets a little complicated. Okay, so nothing here, nothing here, nothing there. Oh, here we have a stop puncture trade. Blue moving average. Close below the stop open price line in a buy window. So this is what Michael would say, the bank's not showing up, institution's not showing up. Let's see what happens. Almost hit target one, but do not hit target one, but we close all positions here. We're not stopped out. 10 little ticks. And it looks like we're almost done for the day. Oops, did you get that one on there? Yep. Nothing. Oh. White, white, close above. Target one, target two, and close. And when I'm doing that, I'm just looking down here at this wick. Target one, target two, and close runner. A couple more minutes left. Nothing, 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 nothing. Oh, sorry. Candle of significance. Ooh, look out. Here. No targets hit. Close all positions. Flat at 115 and the day is over. Let's tally this sucker up. Did I get that on there? Yeah. Okay, I'm excited. I have no idea. So I didn't trade this whole day either. Excited to see what this comes to. And maybe somebody can do win percentage math for me. It's good to know for it's good to know for my psychology. It's like, how often can I expect to have losses? But even more importantly than that, like how often can I expect to have 2 losses in a row or 3 losses in a row? What's my max drawdown? That's what I care about. I really care about what's my max drawdown, because that's how I figure out my delta for the Ryan Jones method of trading. Oh yeah, you're welcome. Where's my spreadsheet? Spreadsheet, come on back to me. Running a little bit longer than I anticipated on the webinar, but it sounds like there's still people here. Dang, everybody's still here. Yay! Oh, that's so cool. I really love this job of doing the webinars. Even though I'm a little tired right now, it's still really fun. I really love doing my one-on-ones. I feel so blessed to have that opportunity to work with you folks. I'm just going to change this color here so we know that it's the new day starting. And today, this was yesterday, so 8/10/22. And we'll start tallying up right there. Let's do it the same way we did. Just going, so it can be more realistic. I think last week we were just doing all the top and then all the bottom. It's not that hard to do it like this. So yay, we get to start out the day with 3 100-tick losses. This is why I highly, highly, highly recommend, unless you have a massive trading account, trading with micros. Yeah, their commissions are a little bit more, but it's nothing compared to having a mini account have 3 100-tick losses in a row. Minus 114, minus 103, minus, I don't know, a 3-minute chart. We need our stops to be that wide, otherwise you're just going to get taken out all the time. 1, 7, 2, 4, 5, 16, 9. Up here on these. Two. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Nice, get to finish with a bunch of winners. That happens a lot actually with this. I wish I had like mountains of data. Like, how often does the day finish with 3 wins in a row? If I had a team of employees, I would get them to do that kind of stuff. Shoot, where was I? 11? Is that where I am? 11? Yes, 11 plus 12, 10. Boom. So let's see. Started with 645, then we went down to 54.70, then we went back up to 84.20. So I mean, if you do have a large account and you're trading minis, I mean, you can pay for this software in like a millisecond. So speaking of software, I have to do the plug. I almost forgot what I was doing. Literally forgot that I'm supposed to plug this for people who don't have the software to buy the software. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. It's just like, it seems like it should just it should just sell itself. Yeah, it costs a couple bucks. It's not free. Some would argue that it's too expensive. I think you get $5,000-6,000 out of this software. You might not sell as many, Michael, Ron, but you could probably get $5,000-6,000 out of this sucker. Oh, nice, Brad, dude, you're like the master of win rate percentage guy. Awesome. 67, and then what was the other day? Was the other day 67 as well? 67's good. That's insane. 64 is good. Especially, oh man, that's awesome. Okay, so what's that then? How much was how much did we make on this day then? So we started with 60.45, 60.45, and then what do we do? Minus 84.20 minus 84.20. Might be a little bit backwards in math, but so that this day was at 2,375, yeah, right? Oh, I guess we should do it. Let's make sure that we did that right. 84.20 minus 60.45. 60.45. Yeah, 23.75. So yeah, $6,000 day. Just kind of like last week. I think last week was like $6,000 on the one day, and then $2 or $3 grand on the other day, and the week before I think was about the same. It's freaking awesome. Okay, so let me show y'all who don't have this software where to get it, how to get it, and stuff. So I hope we can understand just from analyzing those 2 days. And I'll put my hand on a Bible, if there was a Bible around, and tell everybody that those 2 days, that's not odd. That's what I expect out of this strategy and that market and that time frame and this software. That is not odd. That is not an oddity. I mean, anybody, you can go look back at the last 2 webinars, and maybe 3, and see that this is a normal thing on a Wednesday and a Thursday. Yeah, a successful trader studies human nature and does the opposite of what the general public does. Well, general public probably wouldn't buy this software. That's why they're going to be 90-95% of them are going to be losing money. So with Back to the Future, you don't just get the software, you get the team at Back to the Future around you as we're like your pit crew. So you get the software, you get the setup, you get the workspace, templates. Oh, excuse me. Training, there's a video archive. I mean, just look at these stinking webinars, really. We give you the discount, we give you a discount code, and we'll give you a trading future based on what truth of historical data, real probabilities. So if you don't have software, you have a serious choice to make. Free lagging indicators that 95% of losing retail traders use on a one-of-a-kind professional institutional grade trading software. Why wait? Invest in your future with Back to the Future trading. So included is 2 lifetime licenses. So you can use it on 2 separate computers, 2 completely separate machine IDs, free lifetime updates on Warp on the software, free white glove installation and setup. Rachel will literally install the software for you while you sit back and drink coffee. Oops. Free video archive training, basic to advanced. You have access to myself, mentor hours. That does cost money, however, but if you need it, it's there. Limited, and I have multiple other strategies as well, but that's the one that I like to teach the most. There's other stuff that I can run you through. The limited time promo code is warp off. I don't know how long that's going to be good for. We've had that for a while, so I don't know. That could be changing soon. So you purchase today at Back to the Future Trading. Dave, Dave, could you throw your info into the chat box again? Dave's the guy to talk about any salesy questions. Call Dave, 727-742-2626. That's David at backtothefuturetrading.com. There's a little buy now button on the website. Let me just throw that in here just so everybody knows exactly where to get it. And you can also call Dave and he'll help you through this part as well. You just go to backtothefuturetrading.com. Go to the product store. It's going to work this. Oh, yes. TachEon TimeWarp. Learn more. Oh, and I should mention that these 83 5-star reviews, those are real card carrying, receipt carrying people. I mean, some of you are probably on the webinar right now. I'm one of those people. 5 stars, Trustpilot. Not just for the software, but for the team, for Michael and Ron, everybody here at Back to the Future. So here's the product page. Scroll all the way down to the bottom. Feel free to read all that stuff if you want. It's really cool. And then down here at the bottom, $24.95. Click Buy Now, and then you'll have an option for the Pro Training Room. That's the equity curve that I showed earlier. Yeah, Ron does that room Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from pre-market time till about lunchtime. Totally worth it. It's a discounted rate if you get, I think, yeah, so yeah, 25% off if you buy a month of the Pro Training Room with the software. Otherwise, you can go to the checkout without the Pro Training Room. We'll just do that for now. Read through the blah, blah, yada, yada. And then let's make sure that Warp Off still works. WARPOFF. Apply. So there you go, $19.95. I remember when I bought it, like I had enough money where, you know, I didn't have $1 left in my bank account. But even if I did, I put this sucker on a credit card and just pay for it later. And once I purchased, I never looked back. I didn't act, you know, you get like a buyer's remorse. I get buyer's remorse on buying a lot of stuff, but I've never got buyer's remorse from buying Back to the Future software. It still hasn't happened years later. So yeah, does anybody have any questions? It'd be good to see the warnings just in the AM sessions, 9:30 to 12:30. Yeah, we could probably just you can just rewind the webinar. So yeah, please do yourself a favor. If you don't have this software, just get it. Just get it, then set a one-on-one up with me after you go through, you know, get to know the software a little bit. Rachel will help. And then, yeah, if you want to slap down a couple extra bucks, you can have a one-on-one with me. But the main thing is just get the software. Do yourself a favor. Buy yourself an early Christmas present. Shoot, why not? That's what I felt like. I was like, as soon as I bought this, it's like, oh yeah, I did something for myself. It was a really nice. I get to look at the charts and trading in a whole different way after buying that software. It's very, very unique and very zen. Like, look how zen it is. How many other trading systems are out there that are just monstrosities of, and so like what is it? Order flow software, dude. Little triangles and dots and numbers all over the place, or something like, oh, look at this 518 signal, right at the signal. Really? Yeah, that's not rigged. Look at this perfect stop puncture trade right here too, at 4 o'clock, and then right into the 518, and then I mean, just such a beautiful, simple trading software. Beautiful stop puncture here. Look at this 11 beautiful down run here. Then we shoot straight up. Stop run, stop puncture. I mean, even this aftermarket, oh, this is like the European session we're into, and Asian. I mean, look, this 1227. It's like, it's not even, really? I never look at this after hours stuff. Right, here's the little things that I appreciate. It's like, look at this 112, this massive push down right at 12:27 a.m. Then at 112, we consolidate. So a lot of times when you're downtrending and you get a white dot, you'll consolidate for a second and then continue at the blue dot. All the way down to this little V bottom. And then right on cue at 218, we move up. And so on and so on and so on and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, all right. So go out there and get them. It was a pleasure meeting with everybody. Thank you so much for being here. And I think I got one more webinar next week. Talk to Dave. He's the man with the selling plan. There's the stuff. Oh, I had a saying that I used last week. Oh, yeah, before I ended the meeting. All right, everybody. Now remember, in trading, there are no mistakes. It's from Bob Ross. In trading, there are no mistakes. There's only happy accidents. Signing out.